Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Data, can you hear my voice?
Hello.
Okay, good.
Yes, good
Yes,
morning.
it's audible.
So,
Audible, yeah.
We open this session first, okay? Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to have you in here in the second day and the first session of summer course 2023 Startup 101. If I can remind you, last day or yesterday we have several great topics like how to generate business idea and avoid failure, helped by or delivered by Dr. Iqbal. And the second one is model and startup in the Indonesian and Philippine context, delivered by Dr. Mawarti and Ms. Ramales. In today's event, we have Mr. Jeta in here, who already appears in your screen. Mr. Jeta, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, good, all good. Thank you, Pak Hendri.
Mr. Jeta is one of my incredible colleagues, incredible friend, very handsome, right? You can see in the screen, but as you know, he is one of young guns. His talent is remarkable. And maybe I can tell to the people what kind of achievement that you have through this year. Okay, Mr. Deta is assistant professor of entrepreneurship in Universitas Brawijaya, and he is also chief operating officer in Lakantara, and he is also senior investment manager in Synergis Investment, and then he also chief executive officer in Click and Clean. It's a kind of startup, right?
Yeah, that's right, Pak Hendri.
He is also chief executive officer in Bank Beli. And last but not least, he is the president director of CloudBiz. Is that right, Mr. Deta?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, now first session, I mean, in the second day is total, we is in the fourth session. We will talk about market and industry analysis. Will presented by Mr. Deta. So if you're ready, we're not gonna take any longer. Are you ready with your presentation, Mr. Deta?
Yes, of course.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, without take any longer moment, I present to you Mr. Deta Alfian.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you, Pak Hendri. So it's such an honor to me to talk to you guys, talk in this session, summer course sessions, along with 9 incredible speakers here coming from Australia, Philippines, and Indonesia itself. So it's such an incredible experience to me. So thank you so much for the time. And am I audible clear enough, Pak Hendri? Yeah, clear enough, yeah?
Very good, sir.
Let me share my screen first.
Okay, while waiting your screen, I can tell
okay.
If there any question that you want to ask, please write down in the chat box, and then after the session, I will. Okay, wait. It's still not showing anything. Okay, you can chat. You can type in the chat box, and then if you want to ask by open your mic, you can wait until the end of the session. Okay, is that clear, everyone? Okay, Mr. Deta, it's already appeared in our screen.
Okay.
You can start your session right now.
Am I still visible? Yeah, visible enough. Clear.
Good.
Okay. Well, thank you, and to all the students, the 100 students, I think. And I heard that the yesterday sessions, we have around 500, yeah, Pak Hendri, yeah, 500 students coming from. I mean, like, it's very incredible. I think this session, I talk with all of the students coming from various countries that share my knowledge and discuss. And of course, I learn from you guys also. about especially about market and industry analysis. So the first thing that I want to know that you guys, how many of you that already built the ventures of the company by your own? So you can raise your hand. How many of you guys already built your business or do some trade or business and build the ventures? I hope that um, even you are not built the ventures yet. I hope that you have intention to build some the business to make a difference in the society. So today we'll talking about market and industry analysis. As Pa Andri said before, that let me introduce myself first here. So me myself, my name is Deta Alfrian Fajri, so you can call me Deta or Mr. Deta. And I, as an assistant professor of entrepreneurship in University of Brawijaya, and experienced in several company or startups. In the last 4 years, just because in the 2020, our Minister of the Education, Mr. Nadiem Makarim, allows all of the lecturers in the state university, minimum to 20% of the lecturers within the state university, that have obligations to have activity in the industry. So I'm hired by the Synergis Investment as a senior investment manager, and along with my team, I manage the several portfolio, including click and clean and so on and so forth, like this in this slide. So I trying to merge, I trying to blend what I get from the university, what I get from the academics side, and what I get from the industrial side, and merge and have a beautiful intersections that I get from these two things. And I think it's such a unique point of view that I can see something in the business as the academician and the practitioner as well. So here we go, guys. We're talking about market and industry analysis. So first, the first one, I just want to ask to all of the audience here, what are these analysis for? We're talking about the market and we're talking about industry. That's the two terms actually. So the first one, we're talking about market. Market analysis, we analyze the people, the group of people that possible we address. So market analysis is talking about the way we know about how big our market is. So market analysis output is the numbers or the amount that we can address, and at the end of the day, we know that how much money that we can get from those group of people. So the output of the market analysis is the amount that we can address. So that's the first one. It's market analysis, and the first one is industry analysis. Industry analysis, we do the analytical stuff to get an insight about our sweet positions. I use the terms of sweet, right? Sweet positions in the competitions landscape, because I think there is no the truly blue industry, the blue ocean industry. I mean, there is no in the market under the sun. I mean, in this world, there is no the truly blue ocean. I mean, so we have to think about what is the position that we can put ourselves into industry or market, and then we can compete, not competing by the price. So when we compete with the price, we will be the commodity. So we have to compete with the value, with our brand, with our uniqueness, so that we can stand out in the market. So that's the things. The first things is market analysis, and the two things is industry analysis. And especially, I will talking about the market and the industry in terms of the new ventures or startups. I mean, there is a little bit differences between the well-established company and the early stage company, which is the startups or new ventures, to see the market and how they go to the market and they see the industry. So I think in this session, we will talking about the market and industry analysis in terms of in the point of view of the startups or new ventures. So guys, so why we have to talking about these two things, these two terms? Because if you know, and as I did in the last 3 or 4 years, I learned a lot, and I work with a lot of founders to see and to watch, to listen to their pitch, and especially guys, for the angel investors, angel investors, the reason why they want to invest in your company at the very first stage is that because you have a unique position, you have a go-to-market strategy model that very affordable, that very possible to turn your ideas into the market. So that's why you can see in this slide here that Guy Kawasaki as a angel investors, Dave McClure, Don Fountain, and so on, they see very clearly about the market and the competition, because these two things that makes you stand out in the market, that makes you stand out in industry, that makes you well established in the long term. So that's the things that you have to consider, the market and the competitions. After this session, Pak Inggang, actually, I think we will talking about the branding and marketing management to set up your strategy to go to market. And this session, we're talking about how to maintain your position and how to catch up your market in terms of while a lot of big players in the market already established. So this is a slide showing how important your market size and sweet position in the investor. Very, very important. So because the investors want to know about your competitiveness, right, at the very first stage. Well, yeah, this one, I prefer to talk with the example, with the some example that we can learn from. So as I said before, we know about how much or how big our market is. So so we will talking about how much or how many people, how much money, how much how big the size that we can address the market, yeah, in the near future. So in this session, I will talking about sum and sum to make our market size much more clear. Yeah, sum means that sum is a total addressable market, the sum is serviceable addressable market, and sum is serviceable obtainable market. What's the difference between these three things? The first one is total addressable market. Total addressable market, as I state here, that is how big the universe, I mean, quote unquote, the universe, if you achieved the 100% of the market share annually and it's expressed in dollars or transactions of volume. So total addressable market is all about the numbers, the amount, or the group of people and their transactions that you can address if you are the one and only company playing in that field. Okay, so the total addressable market is the universe according to your persona, of course, your customer persona, of course, the universe that reflect your customer persona. Maybe it's across the world or maybe in your country, and if you get or grab 100% of those amount of those people, you will be the one and only player, and you'll be the one and only company. And I think that's very impossible to be the one and only player in the certain field, because I think the monopolistic or oligopolistic market is not that healthy, I think, for economy. So that's the TAM. TAM is total addressable market and done by the number of transaction volume or dollars. And I prefer you state it in the dollars, actually, in the your currency. So that's the total addressable market. And this slide, I shown that the example from Airbnb. You guys, you already know about the Airbnb, isn't it? So in the Airbnb pitch deck that they very first touch with the investor, they pitch the investor with their pitch deck, with their PPT, right? They stated that they have 1.9 billion trips booked. So it's not a dollars, yeah, 1.9 billion trips booked worldwide. It's transaction volume. So the worldwide only have the big transactions or booked night. So that's 10. And the second one is SAM. SAM. So this concept, this framework is narrowing down. So from your big universe, and you narrowing down your market, and then actually at the end of the day, you know how your serviceable obtainable market. So the second one is serviceable addressable market. Serviceable addressable market is how many transaction, how many people that you can reach with your sales channel, actually. So and it's done by the numbers of the transaction volume or dollars as well as TAM, right? So serviceable addressable market is shown that how much money that you can get, yeah, from the universe that addressable, that very possible that you address, yeah. And as an example in this slide, I mentioned that Airbnb, yeah, 532 million booked budget or a booked night on the budget trips and online. So there's maybe 25% of the worldwide trips that be the serviceable addressable market for the Airbnb. So the last one is serviceable obtainable market. The numbers, the amount that Airbnb want to achieve, want to address as soon as possible. So that's serviceable obtainable market that Airbnb obtained, that Airbnb possible to catch it up in the near future. So Airbnb planned in the very first stage they run the business, they plan that they want to obtain 10.6 million trips with Airbnb. So we will learn from this about the market size. So guys, so market size is all about how do you assess your potential market that you can grab, that you can get as soon as possible, which is SOM, serviceable obtainable market, and you can achieve in the near future, which is serviceable addressable market, and the big numbers of the universe we call total addressable market. So here's the things that you have to consider, that you have to analyze it from bottom, not coming from the top, right? So I prefer you to analyze the market size coming from the bottom, because you very know and you have a very understanding about your customer persona first, and then you can make it much more broadened, right? So the next slide. So we learn from Airbnb. I'm still using Airbnb as an example, right? So in this slide, I stated that Airbnb have around 63 in 2022, yeah, 2022. Airbnb have 63.2 billion in GBV. GBV is gross booking value. Gross booking value means that every single transaction that happen in the apps of the bank of the Airbnb, right? So gross booking value. So it's not acknowledged as a revenue actually, because after gross booking value at the top of the financial report of the Airbnb, and then Airbnb will take some numbers, right? After what do you call it? We call it take rate, yeah. So if in the apps of the Airbnb, the transactions happen is 1 million. So maybe 100,000 will be delivered into their partners, like hotel owner or guest house owner and so on. So gross booking value is very gross in the top of the financial, on the top of financial report of the Airbnb. So in this slide, I stated that from this source, there are 393.7 million nights booked that Airbnb already got in 2022. So you can imagine that at the how many people, how many transactions that Airbnb grab, yeah, in their apps, in their journey actually. So the next slide. So we can say that in this picture that I stated, that it's coming from the example in the previous slide, right? Airbnb planned to get 10.6 million in serviceable obtainable market, but in the last year, 2022, Airbnb got 300 million. So it means actually 74% of their planned time serviceable addressable market. So once you know, guys, once you know about your market condition, you will know where you want to go. So from the A point to the Z point to the C point to the D point, you know where you want to go, right? So you have to think about the first thing first before you analyze the market. You have to think about your customers' persona and your indicators or your metrics. So from this, you will be able to broaden your market size. So here with the takeaways of the market analysis actually. So there are three takeaways that I want to recap in this sessions about the first session about the market analysis. The first one is A in TAM is addressable. It's not available. So don't think about the available transactions. Don't think about the available per people. Don't think about the available amount, but it's addressable amount, right? A in the TAM is addressable, not available. What does it mean? What is the differences between the addressable and availables? It's very different actually, because if you're talking about available, it means that the global market size, you can potentially be present. You can potentially be present, available, but not all the available transactions, all the available people, all the available amounts will be your addressable market. Will be your addressable transaction, will be your addressable amount that you can get from it. So, for instance, the total available market is the global market size for short-term property rentals like Airbnb. But the total addressable market, your total addressable market is the market size of short-term property rentals in all countries, yeah, maybe in your countries, except for high crime locations. Why? Because where renting property can affect your company reputation. If you reach those available transactions in the high crime locations, if you do the property rental business, right, like Airbnb, because it can affect, just for instance, it can be affect your company reputations and your user safety. Because that's tough accessible, this market is no way addressable, because it will reduce, it will decrease your trustworthiness to your customers. So the A in the TAM, SAM and SOM is addressable, not available. Addressable means that very possible to you to get and to grow with. Yep. The first one. And the second one is, as I said before, that in the market analysis, you have to prioritize bottom-up market analysis. So, because if you take top-down analysis for the market analysis, it will be ruin you, because you just playing with the statistic. Like in China, maybe, for instance, there are 1 billion people there in China, and then if you want to sell the toothbrush, because every single person has a teeth, right? If you want to sell a toothbrush, and then you say that you have a big market like 1 billion people there, and then you can calculate with a statistic framework. You can get the 10% of the market, of the total addressable market, and that's it. That's I think that the silly way to calculate your market actually, because just playing with the statistic. No, you cannot be playing with the statistic, because you have to know deeply and clearly about your user persona first. Like me, back then into the 2 years ago, I appointed as a chief executive officers in the home cleaning on-demand startups, Click and Clean in the Jakarta. We operate in the 6 cities in Indonesia. We operate in the Jakarta, Bandung, Surabaya, Bali, Batam, and Medan. We operate across the cities actually. And before we talking about our TAM, SAM, and SOM, our market size, I have me and my team have to define our user persona, like what kind of people that will use our services. Is it the women? Is it the men? Is it the married woman? Is it the unmarried woman? Is it the woman who already work? The women who are unworking, and so on. So we think about the very niche persona for our services, and then we go to the bigger size of the of that niche persona, niche characteristics of the user persona that we decided before. So that's why to make you much more realistic, so you have to start from the bottom. You have to start from your user persona, and then you go up to make your market much bigger, from the user persona to SOM, SAM, and TAM. That's the second thing. The third one is there is no universal guidelines or formula in the market analysis, because it's very depend on your solutions. It's very depends on your industry. It's very depends on your verticals. It's very depends on the field that you compete. Right? So there is differences formula for market analysis for YouTube and for Airbnb as a property rental apps. And there is a different formula between Airbnb and Gojek or Grab, maybe. So there is a unique formula, but in the very first things that you have to consider, that every single company has their own market size, that divided into 3 categories that are TAM, SAM, and SOM, like I stated before. So that's the 3 things about market analysis. That's about the market. So guys, you have to know about the amount of the rupiah or ringgit or dollars that you can afford. Yeah, from the very small group to the very big group as a universe or total addressable market. That's a market analysis. Well, the second one, we're talking about the industry analysis. About the industry analysis. So the industry analysis, we are talking about to find the sweet position about your present in industry or in the verticals. So first of all, I just want to ask you guys. There are a different understanding about the industry, because we cannot laying it down the analysis of the environment by the industry itself, because in this very moment of the fast growing of the technology, I mean, it's very impossible if we are just compete in our own industry. Let me tell you, if you're talking about the cement industry like Tiga Roda, like Cement Indonesia, and so on, or a construction industry that have a big player there, like Wijaya Karya in Indonesia, yeah, construction company. Maybe the industry is the peers that produce the similar product or services, right? That's what we call industry. Industry is a group of the company that produce the same product or the service, and they compete each other. So because we cannot see that industry will be the right framework to analyze the competitiveness, because we as a company not only compete with our peers within the industry, but also we will compete with the company across the industry. Like if you are in the construction industry, which is, like I said before, Wijaya Karya, yeah, Wijaya Karya, or another company, another construction company that built the bridge, that built the building, and so on, they can beat. They will beat with the, maybe for 3D printing industry. 3D printing industry, construction industry can or available to be beat with the 3D industry, right? 3D printing industry, you know, 3D printing industry, right? It's construction. We're talking about another industry like furniture industry. Furniture industry not only compete with the the company, their peers that have a similar products. The furniture industry actually can be built with the 3D printing industry as well, because when we built the furniture with the human to build with their skills to build the table, chair, and so on. In the another world, they built the chair, they built the table, and so on. The furniture be through the 3D printing technology they have. So the company within the industry not only compete with their peers in industry, but they will compete with the company across the industry. So I think the terms of the industry in this sessions I pick because the title that gives to me to talk with, but I think it's much more proper if we if we say it is not industry but verticals. Verticals is like the same or the similar products that builds several startups or the several company that have no precedent product before. So like
you have only 5 minutes more before.
Only 5 minutes. Okay, thank you, Pandri. Thank you. Okay. About the verticals. So verticals is all about the similar products that built by the several startups. Like if we're talking about the edutech like Ruang Guru, then they will compete with the peers in the same verticals like Pahamify and so on, like Khan Academy and so on. So that's the verticals actually. So in this part, I will talking about the vertical as a terms of industry. So the first thing first, you have to define your verticals along with the competitors, around you. Yeah, like if I take Airbnb as a example, right? As an example, Airbnb have several peers in their verticals like Booking.com, Agoda, Traveloka, Expedia, and so on. So the first one, you have to define your verticals first. So in what kind of products, in what kind of services you play with, what kind of battlefield you play with, and with whom you compete. So you can define it at the very first stage, because it will drive you to analyze your sweet positions within the industry or within the verticals, right? So define your verticals along with the competitors around you, and then this put all the competitors and their features in the competitive analysis framework like this. It's very simple actually, because I think that you guys have intention to your own ventures, and you have the intention, or you already built your company at the very first stage, and this is very important for you, because you can capture what kind of sweet positions that we can put ourselves in. So it's to make our position more unique than any other company in the verticals. Like I gave the another example, like GoRide, the Gojek products of the ride hailing, right? GoRide, Grab Bike, and these two big players in Indonesia actually. But there are some the small player that trying to enter the verticals, the industry, like InDriver, like Maxim, like Fuit, like Nujek, and so on. But I think the most new entrants that succeed to enter the Indonesian market, besides the two big players like Grab and Gojek, is InDriver. Not because they have sophisticated products, just because they have new features that Grab and Gojek were not have before. And until now, Grab and Gojek have known this kind of features actually. What kind of the features that InDriver trying to provide to the Indonesian market? The features is the price negotiation. So the Indonesian people like to negotiate the price rights, and then they order the ride hailing to some places, and they negotiate the price to the drivers, and then they deal, and the driver will pick they up. So there are several features that you have to consider that may be very different with the big players before. So there are two takeaways, Pak Andri. I need maybe 2 minutes. Yeah.
2 minutes. I give you 2 minutes.
2 minutes. There are two takeaways. The first one is consider another framework to enrich your insights for a market and its competitions. Not only what I said before, you put your company and your peers in the verticals, and you put the features that compared in between the peers within the verticals, but you can also consider another framework like 5 versus Porter for understanding of your particular field battle, because it's much more complicated to set up, and makes you have a better understanding about the industry when your company already going to well-established status of the company. Or the second one is the broad factor analysis, like pest analysis, political, environment, social, and technology analysis for a better understanding about your external environment. So, so you guys, you can using a lot of framework actually, but I prefer to you to using the framework analysis, competitive framework analysis like this in the very first stage that you want to go to market at the very first time. So So the last one for the takeaways of the industry analysis. So don't be influenced by the big player features in your table framework of competitiveness. Like I said before in the previous slide, right? So because if you are influenced by the big players, you have no uniqueness. So just influenced by your customer needs, not by your big players as your peers, as your competitors within the verticals, right? So the keywords here is that don't be influenced by the big players, but only influence to your customer needs, so that you can elaborate, you can provide it perfectly to your niche, to your perfect user persona, and you will be stand out from the market and industry. Of course, you stand out from the crowd. Thank you so much, Mr. Andy. Thank you so much for all the students here.
Thank you, Mr. Rita. I think it's very fast, 45 minutes to hear your presentation, because it's wow. And I want to ask you something, Mr. Rita. What do you think, if you are as a specialist in this marketing and business industry? If I want to create a business, which one do you prefer is the best one? Am I supposed to analyze the market first, or maybe just take the first step at once? Take the first step and we build, and we learning by doing, or we analyze the market first and then we take the first step.
Okay.
Which one do you?
Okay, it's all about how do we start the business, yeah, actually. Yeah. I think that if you have no experience to build the business or to build the product first, I think better you are trying to understand about your uniqueness, your competencies, your ability, your skills, right? Because it depends on your abilities, your competencies to be successfully turned into the market. So first of all, you have to think about, maybe I said ikigai. Maybe Pak Andy already knowing about ikigai, the Japanese concept that makes you much more love your job, actually. So the first one, you have to understand your abilities, your competencies, and then if you have a set of competencies, you have a set of skills that you acknowledge very well, and then you can capture what kind of the in the market, what kind of the problem that occur in the market that we can build up with our own set of skills, right? And then we can build the product from this analysis. I think that's the very first step, Pak Andri. Before we're talking about the market, we're talking about the industry. So you have to understand about what your competencies and what your skills, what your ability, and then you acknowledge what kind of the problems that occur or happen in a market and a society, and then you try to address or solve those problems with your set of skills, like that.
Thank you. And another question to for our audience, if you have any question, you can raise your hand or maybe directly write in the chat box. Okay. And the next question for me is, lately we knew that 3D printing is now in phase.
Yes, incredible
area. Like maybe 2 weeks ago, I read about the news that there is a company that successfully built a boat with a 3D printing.
Boat, right?
Yes,
in the sea.
A real size boat. One,
okay.
One size, yeah, not toys, not like mini.
Through 3D printing, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you think about this new commerce industry that can, I'm not saying it will be harmful to any other
Yeah,
industry.
it's very incredible.
From your perspective, what kind of analysis that we should do if there is, I have already make a business and then just 1 or 2 years later,
there's a disruption coming to our verticals, our industry.
It's very hard. We
To
should
hit very hard,
we should defend, or we should go with the flow, change our business to like following following the market. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the one and only principle in the industry is that we have to follow the market. Follow the market. Where the market go, we have to follow the market. So I think that any kind of the business, any kind of the company, any kind of the industry will be beat. Will be beat by the new technology, by the new skills, by the new knowledge, and so on. I think that it's very important for us to be able to, to be relevant. To be relevant, I think if the AI coming from to our like our profession, Pak Andri, like a lecturer, right? There is a chat GPT that accompany us, that assists us to write the academics stuff. But I think if we are avoiding all of this new technology, we will be the dinosaurs. Actually, we will be gone. So I think the first principle that we have to consider when the disruptions stuff coming to our industry, so we have to be relevant and follow the market, what the market needs.
Follow the money.
That's all, Pak Henry.
Thank you.
With the money, of course.
For me, it's if you launch a new business, you must understand first the trend of the market and the customer. Thank you, Mr. Channel. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, now we are in the end of the session. But after this, we have Mr. Inggang and Miss Bianca to deliver the second material. Maybe
there are Mr. Agung wants to his hand.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Want to ask the question, Mr. Agung? Huh?
Okay, maybe anyone want to ask a question to Mr. Deta?
Mr. Agung already raised his hand, actually.
Okay. Mr. Agung, please.
Yes, Mr. Deta and Mr. Mohammed, can you hear me clear?
Okay.
Clear. Very clear.
Great. Thank you very much. I'd like to be a devil advocate from your explanation, and it was quite interesting, actually. I was once involved in a couple of businesses, especially in providing hotel and tourism sector, but got hit by the recent pandemic, right? So right now I'm in the safer
it's
mode.
Very hard. Hard.
I'm building community first now. So I opened a school, a free school for those who got basically impacted by the recent pandemic. They're unable to continue their study. They drop out from school. So time being, I got like about 1,500 students in my school, which is a safer business portfolio. I mean, it's not a business actually. It's a non-profit organization.
It's actually non-profit.
Yeah.
It's a school.
So,
Right?
But the thing is that I started slowly now to move.
I think he go he disappeared.
The connection just lost.
He disappeared. So how, Mr. Henry?
So okay, thank you. We have no. Sorry, Mr. Deta. We have to discuss our material today. But thank you so much for joining us. And
thank you. All my pleasure.
For deliver your presentation, which I think
Yes.
there's so many people want to talk about this material much more, and then some people already chat me. Can I have? When can I have the presentation? Okay. Do you mind if we give them the material, or maybe
Sure. Sure. Of
everyone
course.
give the material in the chat box? So I think this end of the session. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
after this, we have Mr. Inggang and Miss Bianca. To Mr. Inggang and Miss Bianca, wait for the 5-minute break. And everyone, thank you. See you again in the next.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye.
Thank you.
All right. So, am I audible pa? Am I
Okay.
audible?
Mr. Ingan, both of you?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
All
good.
right. So that was a very informative session regarding our market and industry analysis. Again, good morning to everyone, and I hope everyone is doing well and enjoying our session so far. So my name is Bianca Arasonga. You can call me Bianca, and I am from the Tarlac Agricultural University under the College of Business and Management. And it is our pleasure to be your moderator for today's session. We've already tackled the topics of generate business ideas, the different business models, and the market and industry analysis. But now we have another important step in starting up a business that we will be discussed. In the competitive business industry, offering the same products and competing with each other, how can we possibly step up our game? So that is where the marketing and branding takes place. So luckily, we have a very informative and skilled speaker that will impart his knowledge on the topic of marketing and branding plan. So just a heads up to everyone, if you have any questions, so please don't hesitate to ask on our chat box, and questions will be also entertained after the lecture. All right, so our speaker for today is a researcher, author, and an instructor in Universitas Brawijaya Malang under the Department of Business Administration. He earned his master's degree in business administration in University of Sunderland, United Kingdom in February 2012, his doctorate degree in business administration in Kobe University, Japan in March 2022. So without further ado, may we call on Dr. Ingam Niralang. The floor is now.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Bianca. Good morning, everyone. It's a wonderful morning for us. Thank you for having time in this session. We got a summer course today, and then we have another day for tomorrow. But for today, I will present a marketing plan for Indonesian perspective, and also how you build a brand in Indonesia in international context. Let I share my material. I think we stick on the schedule, which is will be done in 9:55 in Indonesia time, which is it's about 35 minutes in the next 30 and 35 minutes. So marketing and branding plan in Indonesian context, it's about the research and then how you going deep into the understanding of the culture, the attitudes, the values of the country. Even if I'm an Indonesia, want to going to Philippines, for example, or Malaysia or Thailand, and selling my products or service in those countries, we have to going deep for the information and the research about regarding the those countries. And international marketing plan for Indonesian context, a marketing plan that will help to differentiate the service from alternatives, establish its values, and raise awareness of the brand. If you can see in those left side, those kind of Asian region, which is it's about in our region, we have the same little bit same culture. We have a little bit same values, because we are in the what we call it Eastern culture. And but the different it's about the local how the local is building the culture, and how it impacts to the national perspective, and how the national perspective impact to international community or a region. As we know that we have the similar color scheme, we have the similar culture, we have for example, Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, and also Brunei Darussalam. It's about a majority for in Islamic religion. So it's a little bit the same of how we see the world, how we see the international trade, how we see the global economic and so on. And also because we have the same region, our presidents, our prime minister has established kind of policy that it impacts or it adopted only in our region. For example, how we set up our tariffs for export and import, how we set up our tax for foreign products coming to our home country, and so on. Those kind of perspective impact to how we build the business or serve product and service from host country and or home country, and then going to the host country. So the important thing is how we do our research, the research at the country of a potential expansion. For example, in Indonesia, we have a potential expansion in Malaysia and Brunei Darussalam in terms of how we have many similarities of culture, and that's a potential and advantage for us of creating a product. How we spend our money and how the lifestyle of using the product. Those kind of consideration and opportunities, and also make us believe or make us confident to expand our product or service to another country. Of course, that research is not as simple as clapping our hand or something like that. But we have time. We have more time to going deep for our research, and then spend maybe a lot of capital to do that. But we can minimize that from the result of the research that have been done by another company. So in this context, I would like to copy which has been done from another company, how they going to another country doing a business, and then we can copy from that. Of course, we cannot copy 100%, but the way they enter the market, it's quite similar regarding the policy, tax, tariff, and then also how they deal with the local. And the first one is a geographic research. As I mentioned about the research, it's a geographical research. Indonesia is an archipelago country, which means that it stretches over a series of islands from Sabang to Merauke, as we call it, from west to the east. Indonesia features a mixture of urban and rural areas. As you know, maybe Jakarta is one of the big city in the world, and also traffic, also, and also some of the big cities in Indonesia like Surabaya, Medan, Bandung. Maybe you can some of Malaysia get a direct flight from Kuala Lumpur to Bandung, and then spend several days in Bandung to shop and then to find a textile, because it's quite interesting, because one of the market in Bandung provide interesting textile for Malaysia customers. And with the most island having at least one central town or city. Yeah, because for example, Bandung is the capital city for West Java, and then Surabaya is capital city of East Java. Target market population and demographics. The target market population includes international travelers to Indonesia, as well as domestic travelers who live in the country. So if data said about the how you characterize your market, your customers, we going deep into how we understand the demographic information of our target market, how the age range of our customers. It is it divided or classified into generations, X, Y, Z, or boomer, or alpha, or we divide it into another specification, like it's from 15 to 25, for example, or 26 to 35, and so on. And then how the consumption of those kind of generation or age classification. And also, is there any demographic information of about the age, about the education, about how many money they spend, how much money they spend a month, which is its impacts to our product expansion. If you are a member of a premium premium membership of Statista, they will show a general information of Indonesian characteristics, including how the market of Indonesia spend their money a month or a year in e-commerce. We have e-commerce growing up in Indonesia, also logistic and supply in Indonesia. For example, Shopee and Tokopedia as a unicorn in Indonesia. As you know, Shopee is also expand in several countries in Asia, but we don't know clearly yet if you are not find out the information about the spending money of Indonesian people, which has been done from Statista. So if you are membership of Statista, you can find out the research that's been done by Statista, and then provide it to the for us, and then it's easy to download regarding the customers market of Indonesia. And also the next one is research about economic research. According to the 2017 Index of Economic Freedom, Indonesia has an economic freedom score of 65.8 points, which makes it the 56th freest economy in the world. This means that Indonesia customers have a relatively good buying capacity compared to some other countries in the region. So we have a potential market in Indonesia, which is from west to the east, from the north to the south, because and then the uniqueness of customers in Indonesia. They every country, every customers have want to want to get a cheap price of product, but also Indonesia is it's kind of sensitive for viral or trend going up in the social media, but it impacts how they spend money, how they will use your product. But that's not going last. But the main issue is how the trend and then how they will spend the customers spend their money. It's in a stable condition. Stable condition, it means that they will spend whatever it takes the condition of the economics. This kind of behavior is repeated over and over. And then for average, in an average time, it's quite similar. So if you find out this kind of information, it's potential for us to what we call it, to inject the policy, and then we follow those kind of trend. And also the next one is legal research. There are 3 fundamental laws in Indonesia that apply in different specific industry, but yeah, we call it fundamental law in like undang-undang, or what we call it, yeah, fundamental law, and then but which is not changing over and over for fundamental law, but the government policy is also changing, but its impact to the economic flow and economic system of us. But you have to understand that we also can make those kind of policy to facilitate the foreign product or service, or foreign business, or foreign business person to enter Indonesia, and then have a beneficiary from those kind of policy. But we encourage, government encourage every policies in Indonesia has to support the international business, and it impacts to the how many tax, is it a tax from for a product or service from outside of Indonesia, or it is totally free tax from a product from outside of Indonesia. It's about perspective. It's about how the government deal with the region, and how the government deal with the country. For example, maybe Malaysia or Thailand, and negotiate to Indonesian government. And also political research. Yeah, we have doing those kind of research. Indonesia has a pleasant political environment that allows it to attract foreign investors and businesses. As I said, that we encourage that government is also facilitate and also support for international trade and international business to have a space in Indonesia to develop and grow up their business, and then introduce those kind of business to Indonesian customers. We have seen many of brands, international brands in Indonesia going to develop, and then kind of what we call it, a part of our culture. What happened in Japan, and in every Christmas, 25th of December, they will buy KFC as a part of their culture. So KFC in Japan for Christmas time, it's a part of their culture. They will buy KFC. They will book for a menu 10 days, maybe, for, if I'm not mistaken, before Christmas, to get those kind of menu, and they will spend and they will eat the KFC in 25th of December. That's how a country give a space for international product to develop in their country. The president of the country is Joko Widodo in Indonesia now, who is a former businessman. So Joko Widodo is also in many chances. He will strictly to the point said that we have to give much support to international trade. Also, how we can do for them to develop their business in Indonesia, but also in the same time they will support also for a small business in Indonesia to growing up in the kind of capital support or legal support, and then they will have a competition in the market with private or international business. He is a former businessman with a strong focus on developing country infrastructure, economy, and international business collaboration. In Indonesia, it's Jokowi. The main focus at the first time he got the president position is about how we develop infrastructure, how he pursued to connect between cities in Indonesia to have a good connection of infrastructure. So they built Indonesian government built like a highway or toll or a freeway to get those kind of good connection of infrastructure. They believe that those kind of infrastructure will boost up the local business from a city to another city, and it's improved. It's proven by the strong economic in Indonesia. Our inflation is quite stable in 5.5% of points. Government consideration, the critical government considerations in Indonesia are taxation and regulatory efficiency. We have many of unuseful regulations, which is in now in as President said about how we cut off those kind of regulation to minimize, to make it effective running for the business. And also the tax that quite proper to support those kind of business. If 5% of taxes it's quite heavy for a business, they will reduce it into below 5%, for example. As mentioned in the 2019 Index of Economic Freedom, Indonesia has moderate taxes for business, and the top corporate tax rate is 25%. That's I think if we compare to another country, it's quite average 25%. What happened in Spain or France or UK and in Japan for business, it's about quite high than that of in Indonesia. And also the next one is language consideration. Indonesia has two official language, Bahasa Indonesia and Malay. Although most local people speak both language. Indonesia, it's official language. Also Malay in some part of Indonesia, it's officially used for those kind of region, like in Sumatra or some part of in Borneo, in Kalimantan, they will speak Malay. We call it Melayu. For example, in the west part of Borneo, they will speak Malay, which is quite similar, or in the north of Borneo, which is quite similar with Singaporean and Malaysian and also Brunei Darussalam. And it's because those kind of condition, they freely to speak each other between Indonesia and Malaysia, and also to the Singapore or Brunei Darussalam. And also this is the we call it the generosity of Indonesian people. They will follow your language. For example, if Bianca can speak Indonesian a little bit, Indonesian people try to speak Philippine a little bit also. And also, if we have a Malaysian students, Indonesian students also want to try Malaysia in speaking in those way of speaking, because many of a TV program from Malaysia in Indonesia also, they tend to copy the way of their speaking. And also competitive analysis, it's been done by Mr. Deta. It's about business competition in Indonesia with the different business or industry in Indonesia. They are very competitive due to larger or potential market they have. Startups business in Indonesia, it's quite high, which is the most significant first or 2 years in the first they establish the business. It's a critical point, and then they will try to make it stable. They will try to make it exist due to the financial problem they want to be to build the business. And then the next one is the 4 P's of marketing. It includes product, place, promotion, and a price. This is the basic concept of marketing, which is you already quite know about this kind of concept. And a marketing plan, the objective is to attract customers to use a product or service, awareness, product value, and differentiation. The global positioning strategy. In the global context, the company should position the brand as a cheap and easy to use tool that helps travelers or customers to plan their ideal vacation, for example. In order to achieve this goal, the company should use advertising and promotion to show the benefits of the service compared to its competitors, while emphasizing the value of the service. So it's quite a little bit like competitive from a company to another company with what kind of the product or service you offer to the customers. Product differentiation is to help concentrate marketing efforts by highlighting the qualities or features that distinguish the products from their alternatives. In the case of travel aggregators, it will be useful and to add features that are not offered by similar service or focus on them while creating ads. Tourism in Indonesia, it's quite hype nowadays, especially because we get a pandemic COVID-19 lift up based on WHO, and then now we will leverage our tourism and the business industry in those kind of industry. And pricing strategy, while basic hotel or flight, or maybe this kind of tourism, for example, industry, service will be free of charge. The customization tool described above will be available through a paid subscription. The best pricing strategy is adjusting price in accordance with multinational concept, which takes into account. Knowing the price for competitors is also important for us to get a benchmark of our price in the market. We know that our quality is quite proper, and then because we know our product, but setting up the high price for the first time, it's quite risky. So we need to understand that some of the sensitivity considered by customers could be the main point at the first time they contact with your service or product. And also advertising and promotional strategy, the way you promote your product or service. Is it using online or offline strategy? Is it using in social media or YouTube or another medium? And a distribution strategy also if you set up your website, is it included Indonesian language or not, or even several languages provided, such as in our region there are Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, and then all could be Myanmar and Cambodia in different language. This is this example what happened Starbucks in Japan. If you are seeing the three types of Starbucks in Japan, from retro, rustic, and fancy Starbucks. If you see the left side, it's Starbucks in Kyoto, which is not the green logo of Starbucks, which is also we see in a daily life. Starbucks in Kyoto changed its color into brown. If you see this in this part, this one it's brown. It's a brown color because there are policy from a local government to change color into brown and into a gray. They want it into too much attraction or attractive of coloring, so they will change it and they will adopt it into the business. And also the building it's quite similar with the neighbors. So they do not have a modern building from the outside, because this area, it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's Edo era environment. So they have to change the look into the environment, so they will quite similar with another. And but in the inside of those kind of Starbucks, it's the first setup of tatami Starbucks in the world. This we haven't seen this kind of environment in another Starbucks. So because they want to make it very original to Edo era, they set up the Starbucks in tatami. Tatami is what we call it, the traditional mat in Japan. And then the next one is the middle one. It's a rustic style of Starbucks in Tokyo. So in this kind of it's only brand name. There's no logo. Logo is here, but the logo which is this is the logo, which is also commonly we see the first thing that we see of the building, that's a logo. But here in Japan, it's also only it's a font only in a rustic style. And also the right side, it's a quiet new of a Starbucks. It's in a greenhouse. It's a fancy, it's a modern, it's quite generous of plants and also flowers in here. If you see in the middle of this picture, it's a big aquarium, which is we haven't seen those kind of Starbucks in different places. Starbucks in Japan want to get the Japanese style of Starbucks in Japan. So they want to change it a little bit or drastically regarding the display, regarding the environment, regarding the situation of Starbucks into the fancy or retro rustic style of Japan. So they will change it into this kind of display or this kind of environment in Japan. Oh, if you are Malaysian or Indonesia, or I don't know about Thailand or Philippines, RCB is quite well known in our country in motorcycle community. This is kind of example how they expand this kind of product, automotive parts, accessories, from Malaysia to another country. Founded in 1998 in Malaysia, RCB, it stands for a racing boy, and then they rebranded themselves into RCB in 2013. Because they want to position as an international brand. Today, RCB offers a full range of accessories, including rims, absorbers, and braking system, engine parts, and handling system. RCB partners with race teams around the world to receive vital research and development feedback. It is, if you see carefully in their vision and mission, partners is one of the key point of their vision and mission. Here, the partnership to promote integrity with partners and customers, and also in the missions, the first, the third point, professional in giving partners and customer satisfaction, and also the fourth point, integrity towards business partners and dearest customers. This kind of statement reflects that RCB is quite concerned with the partners of their business. How you develop a strong brand for the market. Creating a strong brand strategy in Indonesia is one of the most challenging tasks of any marketers. Local consumers are more discerning and more skeptical than their counterparts in the market. First is understanding the Indonesian culture and what values are important to customers. Research your competition and understand what they are doing well and where they may be falling short. And relevant strategy, create a brand strategy and unique selling value proposition, creative and impactful campaign. Develop creative and impactful marketing campaigns that reach Indonesian where they are most active online or offline. We have a time zone quite similar with Philippines. I think that's not quite issue of how we do a transaction in different time zone. Use the power of influence and also monitor your brand performance regularly, and of course correct where necessary to ensure continued success in the Indonesian market. I think that's all for today for material. Is there any want to discuss or question I would like to answer? Thank you.
All right, so thank you very much, Dr. Ingram Nuela. So what a great and very informative session. So actually, personally, it was a very helpful insights as a business owner on how to widen the different strategies that we can use in building our business, and also on the term of the marketing side. From having our marketing plans to use to differentiate our different services and our different products and to raise the awareness of our brand, from the different 4 P's of marketing to the different strategies like global positioning, price strategy, advertising, and other strategies that we can use in building up our business. So again, thank you very much, Dr. Ingram Nuela, for imparting this information. I hope this will be very helpful and useful as well to our future business owners that is present on our audience. So our floor is now open for questions. So if you have questions, please write your questions on the chat box, or you can also raise your hand. Do you have any questions from the audience? So if not, Dr. Ingram, if you could please entertain my question. So based on the different strategies that you mentioned, what do you think is the best marketing strategy that you can advise, especially to those who are starting up their business in this generation?
Yeah, thank you, Miss Bianca. I think the first step you have to do is doing research about the culture, about the attitude, and about the trend of Indonesian. I, I I think it's not quite different with the for example Philippines. If we compare Philippines to the US or UK, and also Indonesia to US to UK, it's a way different. But if we compare to the region of Asian, it's quite similar. Or maybe what you call it? The special grilled chicken in Philippines?
Inasal? Mang Inasal?
Yeah. Those kind of grilled chicken. It's quite similar in Indonesia, but we also have a grilled chicken, but in Indonesia it's quite sweet, a little bit sweet, but in Filipino it's quite sour, isn't it? Like a peri-peri chicken, isn't it? Yeah. That's I think that's those kind of different, but the basic fundamental that we both kind of country love the grilled chicken. It's quite similar, but the taste we have to adjust from sour to sweet or sweet to sour. We have to adjust it. But another for example, it's we love, for example, for food, we love that shrimp paste. We don't have any problem with shrimp paste, but in the Western country, they have quite those kind of issue. I have a Malaysia friend which is spent many years in Philippines, and I have no issue with the for example, grilled fish with the sour and tomato sauce, and it's no problem for me. But because we consume the same culture. As my point is, because we have the quite same culture or attitude or maybe trend, I think there is no big issue of how we doing business across in the internal of our region. The main issue maybe it's how the policy is different between Philippines and Indonesia, how government will support to our business, how if I enter to Philippines, there may be the third party included in the business. Maybe some part of this is obligation to include the third party, but some kind of country they do not use the third party. But we have to strict and then follow the host country that we want to expand our product. I think that's
Okay, so how about sir, regarding any commentary age of digital marketing compared to offline marketing? Do you think it's more effective now for startup businesses to use it?
It's online. It's quite easy and quite fast to spread out the information. But some point we need to introduce it in the offline context to know that we serious to expand our product or our service. Some part of some product they will use the ambassador or brand ambassador or local ambassador to introduce their product. For example, as I mentioned about RCB, they use Indonesian artists and Indonesian community motorcycle to introduce those kind of parts and products, and after it is all the community using those kind of parts, they will level up the business and then leverage the business into some larger scale.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Inga. So do we have other questions from the audience? Okay, so I don't think we don't have one. So if we have further questions, you can just feel free to put it up on our chat box, and we will just address it later on. So if there are no more questions, we will have a 5-minute break before our next session starts with Mr. Agul and Dr. Jerome Soriano. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Inga Mirala, for that very wonderful and informative session. And thank you for everyone, and mabuhay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Miss
thank you.
Bianca.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. We have learned about the marketing and branding plan in the Indonesian context in the previous session, and then now we will have the marketing and branding plan in the Philippine context. And we will have Mr. Jerome Duke Soriano. Hopefully I pronounce your name correctly, sir.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay, thank you. We are honored to have him as our speakers at this session today because he has the theoretical knowledge and also the practical knowledge in this area. He currently teaches marketing at the College of Business and Management at Tarlac Agricultural University, and he also served as assistant dean at this university. And he has much research in business area. And before he joined this university, he also worked in the marketing areas in the industry. Without further delay, please welcome Mr. Jerome Soriano.
So can I now share my slide, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay, so can you see my slide, sir?
Yes, we can see it clearly.
My screen, actually, my screen, not my slide. How about my PowerPoint presentation, sir? Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, good morning, magandang umaga, salamat pagi. I'm Mr. Jerome D. Soriano from the College of Business Management of the Tarlac Agricultural University. So today, I'll be discussing to you marketing and branding in the Philippines. Okay. So marketing is around us, right? Do you believe that marketing activities are everywhere? I believe so, right? Because when we pass by the major expressways and highways, we usually see huge billboard signs and posters. And when we go to the supermarkets and department stores, there are lots of products being promoted there. Sometimes these products are being discounted when it comes to their price. And for new products, we're given samples to try on. And when we browse the newspapers and magazines, we also see several print ads. And when we turn on our television and radio, we usually see and hear commercials of different brands of different types of products. So according to the famous marketing guru Philip Kotler, marketing is a social and managerial process by which individuals and groups obtain what they need and want through creating and exchanging products and values with others. Now, this definition of marketing by Mr. Kotler teaches companies to adopt the outside-in approach in creating and selling products. So what do we mean by outside-in approach? Companies must make an effort to determine the needs and wants of their customers before they make a product. And it is only through this approach that these companies can come up with responsive products and services to their customers. Now, an important aspect of marketing is branding. Okay, brand and branding. And because of this, brands must be carefully developed and managed. So basically, what is a brand? So a brand is a name, term, sign, symbol, or design used to identify a product or differentiate it from the competitors. So from this definition or description of brand, we can say that there are different elements to it. Okay, so as you can see in the picture, we have here different terms, different names of brands, like for example, Google. We also have Coca-Cola, Yahoo, Unilever, Samsung, MasterCard, YouTube. Okay, so these are the terms, these are the names that comprise different brands. And like what I said a while ago, also part of the element, also an element of a brand is a sign, a symbol or design. So in this picture, again, we can see different signs of different brands, like for example, the swoosh sign of Nike. Then we also have the M sign of McDonald's and the three-stripe logo or sign of Adidas. Okay, and also from this definition, we can say that there are two roles of brand, and that is to identify a product. Like for example, when we see the swoosh sign, we already know that there is this Nike brand. And when we see the M sign, we are talking about McDonald's. And when we see the three stripes, we are actually talking about Adidas. And another role of brand is differentiated from the competitors. So what are the popular brands worldwide? We have, of course, Apple, Sony, the giant electronics company from Japan. Then we also have Toyota, the car manufacturing company from Japan. We also have its counterpart from the United States, which is Ford. Then Nike, the shoe company. Then Disney. We all know that Disney is an American company in the United States. Coca-Cola, the soft drinks company based in Atlanta, Georgia. Then we also have Microsoft, or the company that produces computer programs. And then we have McDonald's, the giant restaurant or the giant fast food restaurant, also from the United States. In the Philippines, we have here some of the popular brands. We have San Miguel. So San Miguel is a beer brand, and this was long established. It was created in 1890. Then we also have Jollibee, our version of the McDonald's, but the products that it offers are far more different from those offered by McDonald's. Then we also have Global Telecommunications Company, and then ABS-CBN, a giant TV network that has recently shut down because it recently lost its franchise. But ABS-CBN is now into content creation for other TV networks, not just in the Philippines, but also in other parts of Southeast Asia. And in Indonesia, of course, you have the Jayco, okay? The very delicious donut, which is not that sinful to eat because it has the right amount of sweetness. So many Filipinos love to eat Jayco. Filipinos also love to drink Kopiko. Actually, Kopiko is one of my most favorite coffee drinks. And then Telkom Indonesia, that's the counterpart of Globe in Indonesia. Gojek, the motorcycle service app. And then Indomie. So if I crave for spicy noodles, I usually go to the supermarket and look for the Indomie brand. Okay, so a powerful brand has a brand equity, a high brand equity. And how do we measure brand equity? When consumers are able to, or when consumers pay for the high price of a certain brand. And why do consumers pay for the high price of a certain brand? That is because they want to receive quality, or they want to have quality in the product. Okay, they also expect lots of benefits and features from that particular brand or from that particular product. And there's no problem for them paying for the high price. So again, when consumers pay even a high price, or when consumers pay a huge sum of money for a particular brand or particular product, then we can say that a brand really has a very high brand equity. Okay, so in branding, there are these what they call brand positioning strategies. And when it comes to brand positioning, there are three levels. The first one is attributes. Okay, so when you say attributes, we're talking about the characteristics of a product. So I have here as an example Dove. Dove is a soap with 1/4 moisturizer. So that is how Dove was positioned based on its attribute or characteristic. Now the second level is desirable benefit. Okay, so since Dove is a soap with 1/4 moisturizer, obviously it can give us or provide us with softer skin. Okay, and Volvo can provide us safety. Okay, Volvo is actually a European car brand, and Gatorade can quench our thirst. So these are the benefits that we can get from those brands. And then the highest possible level to position a brand is through beliefs and values. Okay, so I have here different brands, Filipino brands. We have here ABS-CBN, Metrobank, and BDO. So ABS-CBN has this slogan, in the service of the Filipino worldwide. So obviously, what ABS-CBN values, okay, what ABS-CBN believes in is the undying service to the Filipinos, not just in the Philippines, but also in other parts of the world. And Metrobank, it has this slogan here, in good hands. So obviously, what it values, or what is the belief of Metrobank, is security for the clients when it comes to their deposits, right? And then BDO, we find ways. So I think the value or belief of BDO is, finding ways to serve us much better, right? Finding good ways of providing the best service for the Filipino bank clients. Okay, so a brand name must be carefully crafted, and for a brand name to be considered as a good brand name, it should possess desirable qualities. And these desirable qualities include, number one, it should suggest something about the product's benefits and qualities. Like, for example, the Durex condom. Durex condom is a durable protection for sex. And then Uniqlo, unique clothing. Actually, I think these are the two words where this brand name came from, right? Uni is unique, and then clo is clothing. And then another desirable quality for brand name is it should be easy to pronounce, recognize, and remember. So marketers must make sure that, these brand names only have one syllable, or maybe, a few syllables, okay? for them to be easily pronounced, recognized, and remembered. So I have here as an example Tide. So Tide is the detergent bar that we are using every day. And then Todd, I think that is a shoe brand. Okay. A brand name should also be distinctive. Like for example, Honda Sakura and Koda. I think you cannot find other brand names other than this. Okay. A brand name should also be extendable. Like for example, in the case of Amazon.com. So Amazon.com used to be an online bookseller, but chose a name that would allow expansion in other categories. Okay. I think this strategy is being reflected in the brand of Amazon. Okay. So there is this arrow coming from the letter A pointing to the letter Z. So that signifies the company's strategy of offering products from A to Z. And then the last desirable quality for brand name can be easily translated in the foreign language. So I have here's an example, Coke. Don't you know that Coke, when being translated in a foreign language, means Kokea, and Kokea means happy mouth. That is usually the feeling, right, that we get when we accompany our food with Coke, right? So there is this feeling of refreshment when we drink Coke. There is this feeling of satisfaction when we partner Coke with other food items or food products. Okay. Now, when it comes to developing brands, a company can adopt one of the 4 options or 4 choices. The first one being line extension. So when we say line extension, we are talking about the introduction of additional items in a given product category under the same brand name, such as new flavors, forms, colors, ingredients, or package sizes. Okay, so in this kind of branding strategy, the same brand name is being used, but for other forms of a certain product line. Okay, so in this case, I'll be using the cases of San Miguel and Century Tuna. Okay, again, San Miguel is a beer brand. Okay, it is the most popular brand in the Philippines when it comes to beer. I think in other Asian countries, they also have their popular brands. Like, for example, I think Singapore has this Tiger beer. And, other Asian countries also have their own. I think Bintan, if I'm not mistaken, Bintan is a beer brand from Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so going back to the example, so San Miguel is a beer brand. And because of its capacity or ability to, come up with different flavors of beers, it came up with this beer variants. Or actually, the original beer of San Miguel is the Pale Pilsen, but again, because of the effort of the company to come up with different brands, because of its ability to research about what the Filipino beer drinkers like to drink or like to have as, flavors of beer, then this company was able to come up with these different beer flavors. But, these beer flavors are still bearing the San Miguel, the San Miguel brand, okay? We also have here Century Tuna. Actually, the original product of Century Tuna is the flakes in oil. But same with San Miguel, because of the ability of the company to come up with different products, and because of the product of market research, Century Tuna, the company was able to develop different variants of flavors for the tuna. So we now have here flakes salpicao, flakes chili and lime, flakes in sunflower oil, and flakes lemon butter. And what do you notice? The Century Tuna brand is still being used. So these are good examples of line extensions. Okay. Next, we have brand extensions. This is the use of the successful brand name to launch new or modified products in a new category. Okay. So good examples of this brand extension are Barbie and Honda. We all know that Barbie is known for its beautiful dolls, right? But don't you know that Barbie also developed new categories? I think these new categories can also be used with the Barbie doll. Like, for example, we have this home furnishings. We also have this cosmetics, electronics, books, sporting goods, and even a band. And all of these new categories of Barbie, they also use the same brand name Barbie. Okay. Another example of brand extension is Honda. So we all know Honda as a brand that produces cars. In the Philippines, Honda is also known for its motorcycles, but in other countries, this company was able to come up with other product categories, like, for example, snow blowers, lawn mowers, marine engines, and snowmobiles. I think these are the product categories of Honda in temperate or, cool countries. Okay, of course, they need to have snowmobiles, right? Okay, I think lawn mowers are also being used in the Philippines, but for other categories like the one I discussed a while ago, these are unique to temperate or cool countries. Then we have the multi-brands. When I say multi-brands, this is the introduction of additional brands in the same category, like in the case of Seiko. Seiko is known for its watches, but Seiko was able to develop other brands for its watch. Like, for example, we have the high-price watch brand Seiko LaSalle and the low-price watch brand, the Pulsar. And then after multi-brands, we have the new brands. Okay, this is entry to a new product category for which none of the company's current brand names is appropriate. Okay, so let me use Honda as an example. So Honda was able to develop a car, a luxury car that is, and it realized that it cannot use the brand name Honda. So it came up with the Lexus brand, okay, as the brand name for its new luxury car brand. So that is an example of a new brand. Because Honda realized that the Honda brand name is not that appropriate for this new brand of car, luxury car that is. And Lexus fits, the Lexus brand name fits with the new product. Okay. Then under the new brand is the mega brand strategy. So this is getting rid of weaker brands and concentrate on producing those brands with leadership or challenger positions in their own categories. So if you think, if you as a marketer think that, other brands are not that marketable enough or marketable anymore, they're not that saleable anymore, then you can, get rid of those brands and just focus on the brands which are generating much cash for the company. Okay, let us now go to the marketing and branding in the Philippines. Let me now discuss the consumer profile and marketing landscape in the Philippines. So the Philippines has a population of around 114,597,229. And when it comes to the growth rate of the population, it is growing at 1.6% annually. So this is according to the 2022 estimate of CIA, or Central Intelligence Agency. And the dominant religion is Roman Catholic. So this is our difference with other ASEAN nations. So many ASEAN nations are either Buddhists or Muslims, but together with Timor-Leste or East Timor, we are some of the Catholic nations in Southeast Asian region. So almost 81% of the population of the Philippines are going to Catholic churches. Okay, the median age is 26.3 years old. That means the population of the Philippines is very young. Almost 1/3 of the population is aged 14 years or under. So we can truly say that the Philippines is a very young population. While 4.9 or almost 5% of the population is 65 years or older. So this is very much different compared to Japan, because Japan is known for its age population. But in the case of the Philippines, only 5% are from age 65 years and above. And almost half of the Philippine population, they live in urban areas or cities. And when it comes to the growth of cities, it is 2.04% annually. That is how fast cities or urban areas in the Philippines grow every year. So obviously Manila is the largest urban area. It is home to 1/8 or 12.5% of the entire Philippine population. And aside from Manila, the other urban areas are Davao, the big city in the Mindanao region. Then we also have Cebu City, the Queen City of the South. It is the biggest city in the Visayas region. Then we also have Zamboanga, also from Mindanao. By the way, Mindanao is the major island near Indonesia. Okay. And then we also have Antipolo, a city that is nearby Manila. Okay. The average household size is 4.1 people. So that means, the Filipino household consists of the mother, the father, and 2 children, because the average household size. Now, almost 1/4 of the households count 6 people or more. So 1/4 of the households in the Philippines, they have more household members. And 96% of the population ages 15 and above can read and write. That means the Philippine population has a very high literacy rate. Now, when it comes to GDP per capita, it is estimated at $9,119.7 US. I think the Philippines right now is considered as a low middle income country. And when it comes to gender equality, the Philippines ranked 19th out of 146 countries in terms of gender equality. That is according to the World Economic Forum Global Gender Gap Report 2022. I think this is because of the many opportunities given to the women and there are laws that somehow protect the women, and the protection to the women are now at par with the protection given to the men. The same with opportunities. So somehow there is this narrowing gap, gender gap in the Philippines. So the Philippines is a youthful and vibrant consumer market with strong growth potential. And this is because, the Philippines is a very young population. When this section of the population were able to land into jobs, then they will drive the economy up. Okay, they will now be the drivers of consumption in the Philippines, and this will bring about a strong growth for the economy of the Philippines. And when it comes to shopping, okay, we Filipinos love to visit malls, not to buy products, but also to conduct or have some social activities. Like, for example, when you want to meet friends, when you want to celebrate special occasions, when you want to hang out, when you want to simply stroll in a very nice place, we usually go to our shopping malls. And that's the reason why we have some of the largest malls in the world. So in the latest list of Wikipedia, the largest mall in the Philippines, the SM Mall of Asia, okay, this one is now the 5th largest mall in the world in terms of gross floor area. Okay, I think this used to be the 3rd, 4th largest, but now it was relegated to the 5th position because there are other malls being developed, not just by other countries in Asia, but also in Southeast Asia. Actually, the biggest competitors of shopping malls in the Philippines, when it comes to size, are also the malls that can be found in some other Southeast Asian nations, like, for example, Malaysia, okay, Thailand. Some of the malls of Thailand and Malaysia, they also belong to the biggest malls in the world. So the Filipino consumer does not like ostentatious expenditure. So that means Filipino consumers buy products not to brag, not to impress. They're just, simple consumers. And the Filipino consumer gives priority to his family. Okay, but the role of advertising in the Philippines is very different. So advertising has increased consumerism in the Philippines. And what is the role of advertising in the Philippines? Okay, it portrays physical attractiveness and material goods as gateway to happiness and success. And this is primarily the reason why many Filipinos would like to buy products and what we call services. Okay, for them to become physically attractive, for them to be brought with happiness and what we call success. So the increasing number of single person and smaller households is boosting demand for compact household items. So these are some of the examples of products, okay, brought about that situation. And low-income households tend to buy products in lower volumes or weights, even though these are more expensive than larger packs. So in the Philippines, we call this the tingi-tingi culture. So we tend to buy products in lower or in smaller sizes for us to save money. But actually, we can save more when we buy larger packs. But because, of the socioeconomic conditions of many Filipinos, they're not able to buy these larger packs. So they tend to buy those lower volumes or lower weights when it comes to products. Okay. Next, we have online shopping is becoming more and more popular among young Filipinos. So these are the major online shopping platforms where Filipinos do their shopping. I think these are also the same with Indonesia. Younger consumers have also helped drive considerable growth of internet and mobile internet retailing. If you visit the Philippines, what do the Filipino young generation hold in their hands? They usually hold their smartphones because that is where they access the internet. That is where they browse. That is also their instrument for online shopping, their smartphones. And Filipinos love the internet and socializing. So this is the reason why when you're a foreign company and you are the marketer of that particular company and you would like to operate in the Philippines, you can capitalize on the use of social media marketing. Okay, so these are again the major social media platforms that many Filipinos are using when it comes to their shopping and social media. So there are about 85.16 million internet users and almost 85 million Filipinos who are active social media users in the Philippines. So try to imagine that. Okay, so since there are almost 85 million active social media users in the Philippines, the use of digital marketing campaign can do a lot for a company, right? It can go the extra mile when a company makes extensive use of these digital marketing campaigns. So these digital marketing campaigns are being, coursed through in social media like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and other platforms. And if you're a company, you're the marketer of a company, foreign company, and you would like to operate in the Philippines, you can also explore the use of SEO marketing. I think this is the use of some keywords when it comes to the use of the internet. Then you can also utilize online billboards. So instead of producing those huge billboards and then having it posted in major expressways and highways, why not use online billboards? I think these are more efficient compared to those. Then we also have the banner ads. And then you can also explore collaboration with influencers for your marketing. So these are, the effective ways right now when it comes to marketing in the Philippines. Okay. And the use of collaborative platforms such as Airbnb and Uber is trending in the country over the past few years. So many Filipinos who would like to, book for a room or property, they simply go to the Airbnb app. And for those Filipinos who want to book a car, they simply use the Uber app. So the following are the effective marketing activities based on the current situations in the Philippines. So the first one is make them LOL. Actually, LOL means laugh out loud. Okay, so make sure that your marketing campaigns are very humorous. Okay, they can make people laugh. Okay, because this is a way for you to make your marketing campaigns more effective. Okay, so you must make sure that you use humor, you use memes, and when it comes to the words that you use in your marketing campaigns, they should be witty because humor is very powerful. So that is a way for you to have an effective marketing campaign. That is a way for you to make your campaigns create a buzz for a lot of people. Okay. Number 2, happily ever after. This is the use of the power of storytelling to touch the market's heart. Okay. So we can, use stories in our marketing campaigns, right? We can use videos that tell a story, but make sure, guys, that these stories are relatable. So the ending might be good or bad, but the more important thing is, these stories must be relatable to your target market. And now, again, very good example of a company that uses storytelling as a marketing campaign is Jollibee. So actually, Jollibee has released numerous videos that tell that story, and these are very, successful. Okay, because many Filipinos can relate to these stories. Number 3, best offer. Give the market best pricing and offer sales and discounts. Okay, so every month there are these sales being offered by the major shopping platforms of Lazada and Shopee. Actually, there is this campaign that usually consists of a series of numbers. Like, for example, if it's the first month, okay, the sale is actually 1-1. So 1 represents the order of the month of January in the year, right? And this number is being repeated to signify when will the promo will start. So for January, it's 1-1. It's the first day of the first month of the year, January 1. When it's February, it's 2-2, the second day of the second month of the year. And for the last month, December, it's actually 12-12. And the sale will start on the 12th day of the month. So it is 12-12. So this is very this is widely used in the Philippines. So every month, many Filipinos are looking for the sale of these big shopping platforms, Lazada and Shopee. Even other, shopping platforms are also doing this. Okay. Next, we have keep it short and sweet. Utilize the trend of short form content. So I have here data about short form videos. Don't you know that in 2021, 31% of global marketers were already investing in short form videos. Okay. 46% of global marketers who leverage short form video consider it effective. And because of that, 89% of global marketers will spend the same budget or more in short form videos in 2022. So this is the power of short form videos. Okay. So they're very short but sweet. Okay. So all of the information needed are all, compacted in that very short video. So this is the right thing to do right now. This is a trend right now in the Philippines when it comes to marketing campaign. Next, we have number 5, Comment Mine. Utilize the social media live streaming for online selling and e-commerce. Okay, this is what many online sellers do. They use Facebook for them to be able to sell their products. And usually these online sellers require their customers to utter the word mine so that they will be reserved of their product of choice. You just comment the word mine. Okay. Number 6, influencer stamp. This is collaboration with the top influencers in the country. Of course, these influencers must be credible. We all know that influencers have many followers, and obviously these followers are also believers of these people, right? They can relate to them. So this is a very good strategy of having a marketing campaign in the Philippines to collaborate or work with the top influencers in the country, because these people have lots of influence on the people. So they're very good endorsers of products and nautical services. Number 7, free and organic. Encourage free and organic marketing through word of mouth and user-generated content. When I say word of mouth, we're talking about spreading the good news about your product. So when you learn as a marketer that your product have benefited a lot of people, they have something nice to say about your product, then you encourage them to spread the good news about your product. And when it comes to user-generated content, this is the use of hashtags for a particular product. So make sure as a marketer in the Philippines, when you want to operate in the Philippines, you must come up with these hashtags and let people or consumers share this hashtag so that they can promote your products and nautical services. Now, according to Agard, a company that offers brand strategy and marketing for company and products in the Philippines, branding is a process of creating value in the products and services that a business offers to the public to gain recognition, value, and trust, which in turn help create more customers. So according to Agard, Philippines or branding is all about the creation of value. We must make sure that, we're able to provide the best value for the customers. It is only through that creation of value that we can get recognized, right? That we will be trusted. And this will in turn will encourage more customers to buy our brand, our product. And according to Agard also, a brand strategy must help define, differentiate, and develop a business. So this must be the roles of a brand strategy, right? Define, differentiate, and develop a business. So if marketing has 4 Ps, according to Agard, branding has these 3 Ds. Let me discuss to you this one by one. Okay, the first one is define. So this means establishing a place for the business in the industry in terms of the products and services that it can provide. So I liken define as coming up with a position for a certain brand. Because when I say position, we are actually thinking about the image of the brand, the image of the product in the minds of the consumers. We're creating this picture of the brand. We are creating this picture of the product in the minds of the consumers. Okay, so that is what define means. We are creating a picture. We're creating an image of the product or the brand in the minds of the consumers. Next, we have differentiate. So this is the effort of setting your product apart, setting your brand apart from the other brands or products. This is the effort of distinguishing your product from the other products being offered in the market. Okay, when you differentiate, you try to make sure that your products are very different, more unique compared to the other products, because this is the way to go, right? And then develop means embracing change to fit with the times by initiating the trends that others will appreciate and follow. Okay, so nothing is permanent in this world except change. So we must constantly change. We must constantly develop. And this can also be applied to our brands. We need to continuously develop our brands. And that is to keep up with the changes in the times. That is to keep up with what the consumers and customers, are looking for when it comes to the new products and what they call services. Let us now go to this slide. How to build a brand in the Philippines. Actually, there are lots of ways on how to build a successful brand in the Philippines. First one, get visual with your brand. So when I say visual, this is the requirement of a logo. So make sure that when you operate in the Philippines, you must have a logo. Now, mind you guys that a logo must not only be present in the product, but also in the promotional material that we send to our target market, in the email that we send as marketing campaign, and make sure also that these logos must also be present in packaging. So we have here popular Filipino brands. We have here Mang Inasal. This is what our previous speaker is talking about a while ago. So Mang Inasal is a very popular barbecue chicken restaurant with unlimited rice. So when you go to Mang Inasal, you can get a very good value for your money, because you can you can eat lots of rice when you go to Mang Inasal, because we Filipinos love to eat rice. Rice is life. I think that is also the same with Indonesia, right? You also eat lots of rice because rice is our staple food. Then we also have here Ministop. I think Ministop is a local version of the Lawson or the 7-Eleven of the United States. Then we also have Big Mac. Obviously, Big Mac is a brand that sells hamburgers. Then we also have Petron Gasul, and we also have here the big brands, like for example, the BDO. So take note of the use of the colors, right? BDO, so color blue and yellow. Jollibee is known for the red color, and then Globe, also the blue color. Number 2, use the power of psychology. So it says your brand is not just an image, but also a feeling or emotion. So there is this research that has been released to suggest that customers feel different emotions based on color and patterns. So I have here a picture of different colors and their meanings. So some meanings are either positive or negative. So there are colors with both positive and negative meanings, but there are also colors with only just one meaning, right? Like for example, gray, which signifies uncertainty. So red has two meanings, right? Passion and anger. So there is a positive and negative meaning. But I think the reason why Jollibee used the red color is because it believes in passion, right? That is what the company values. Okay. The same case with BDO. BDO is known for its blue color because blue means focus. And for companies using orange, these are the reasons why they are using the color orange, because the color orange signifies joy and warmth. Okay. Number 3, highlight your business uniqueness. Okay. So you must make an effort to present the difference of your brand, the uniqueness of your brand. Okay. A good example of this is Jollibee. Now, many people say, or many people believe that Jollibee is a copycat of McDonald's. But actually, when it comes to products, okay, there is this effort on the part of Jollibee to provide, food products that suit the taste of the Filipinos. That's the reason why Jollibee has this slogan, "Atin ang langhap sarap." And that symbolizes the company's effort to come up with products that really suit their taste. And then Nike. What sets Nike apart is its collaboration with sports stars and athletes. I know, guys, that many sporting goods or sporting brands also use this strategy, but when it comes to Nike, there is this continuous collaboration or continuous partnership with the sports stars and athletes, and that is what makes it different from the rest. Next, we have focus on simplicity. You must make sure that your marketing campaign is very simple and straight to the point. Okay? Make sure that even if it's, very simple, all of the ideas in your marketing campaign are being captured by this what we call marketing campaign. And many companies right now are using the 5-second non-skippable ad on YouTube. So this is the case of Grab and Food Panda. Okay? They use this 5-second non-skippable ad. I think this is because of the characteristic right now of the millennials. I think millennials don't have enough patience. So I think this is the reason why when it comes to marketing campaigns, many companies are now using the 5-second non-skippable ad. Because if I'm not mistaken, in television, the average length of a commercial is 30 seconds. But why can't you come up with a video, okay, with the length of just 5 seconds, but still captures the idea of a marketing campaign? And I think this is the reason of the popularity of the 5-second non-skippable ad. Okay. Number 5, build brand consistency. I think whatever you do, whatever product that you offer, like for example, food products, services, there must be consistency. In the case of food, there must be consistency in the taste of these products. When it comes to services, there must be consistency in the way you provide the services to the consumers. So that is also a requirement in building a brand, a successful brand in the Philippines. You must build this what they call brand consistency. And then number 6, evolve faster than anyone else in the industry. So again, like what I said a while ago, nothing's permanent in this world except change. So there's a need for constant development for brand. There is this need for the continuous evolution of the brand that we are offering to the customers. Make sure that you consider the new trends. Make sure that you consider all the industrial changes. So it is by doing so that you can come up with, popular brands in the Philippines. You can come up with successful brands in the Philippines. And these are some of the brands that have undergone evolution or development. Okay, so let's start with Coke. So this is the original brand of Coca-Cola. So it used color black. Okay, but this is now the new brand of Coca-Cola, 2003 to present. This is now the present brand of Coca-Cola. Then we also have here the evolution of the Jollibee brand. So this is the latest one, right? This is the latest brand of Jollibee. Then we also have here Shell. Then we have Apple. And then we have ABS-CBN. So nothing is new with the symbol or sign, but there is something new with the slogan. And I think this slogan is also part of the brand. So originally the slogan is in the service of the Filipino. But since ABS-CBN values customer service, ABS-CBN likes to serve the Filipinos so much. And ABS-CBN learned that there are Filipinos not just in the Philippines, but also in some parts of the world or in many parts of the world. And that's the reason why it has included the word worldwide in the slogan. And this now signifies the love of ABS-CBN to the Filipinos, not just in the Philippines, but also in major parts of the world. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you and good morning. Magandang umaga. Salamat pagi.
Okay, thank you very much for your excellent presentation. It is very interesting and also insightful. And we have learned from your presentation that a company should develop a brand strategy that can define, differentiate, and develop its product. It means that the company should be certain about how they want to be known by the customers, and then how they differentiate with the other competitors, and also always keep adaptive with the environment. And you also suggest a tip for developing brand in the Philippine context. The first one is visualize the brand, and then the second one, use the power of psychology. Different colors may relate to different emotions. And then the third one is related to highlight your uniqueness, selling your strong point, and use simple and straightforward branding campaigns, build brand consistency. And then the last one is be adaptive and stay ahead. Okay, now we come to the Q&A session. For those who wants to ask a question, you can either click the raise hand button, or you can type your question in the chat box. Okay, while we are waiting for the question from the audience, there's something interesting in your presentation about the online shopping. I think the phenomenon in Indonesia and also in Philippines is relatively the same, that now we have a more younger generation who likes to do online shopping. But the things, as we now tend to have a challenge in doing the online shopping, especially for the marketers, because it seems that the customer now become less loyal than it used to be. So because they can easily compare products from one brand to the other brands, and compare the price as well. And so how can we solve this problem? How can we maintain the brand loyalty of the customers?
I think, sir, for that, I think we can adopt this strategy of brand consistency. So whatever we offer to the customers, make sure that these are the same products that we sell to them. And that's true, sir, that, because of the online shopping platforms, many consumers, tend to compare products right now, because there are these reviews. especially the reviews, right? So the reviews are also considered when it comes to the purchase of products. Make sure that when you deliver products, when you offer products, these are of the best quality. Okay, I think the offering of products not just ends with the product itself, but also the delivery. So make sure that when you deliver your products, okay, it will go to the customers in its perfect state, in its perfect condition, because that is also what many customers are looking for, not just a product but also the delivery. So so if you have a partner that is responsible in delivering your product, make sure that they do their best to deliver your product to your customers. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So you say that for the company, they have to be consistent so that they won't be disappointed with the services, so they will come again.
Yes.
Once they got disappointed, then they will no longer go to
Look for other brands.
our shop. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
And we are still waiting for the other question, okay, from the audience, and we still have no question from the chat box. I think I have one more question. I think a lot of startup wants to ask about this question. For the startup, because this is the first time for them to develop a brand, what should they do to develop a brand for the first time?
What should they do? You're talking about the startups, or
Yes,
the business?
for the first time they develop a brand.
Okay,
Because
so
no
just
one,
like what yes, just like what I discussed a while ago. So when you are new to the business, you should have a logo. You should be able to visualize your brand. Okay, so you must have a logo because that is a requirement for you, for your business to be known or to be recognized by other people. You must have a logo, right? That will try to identify your business, that will try to differentiate your business. Okay, so I think that is a basic requirement when it comes to startups. They must have a logo, and aside from that, of course, they must come up with a very good product. And I think this is related to the first topic that I discussed a while ago, that when it comes to marketing, when it comes to the creation of products, we must make sure that we consider the needs and wants of the consumers, because it is only through this approach that we can come up with responsive products and other marketing offers. Because a lot of companies right now, they're offering products which are not responsive to the needs, because these products are not products of research. So companies must make an effort to determine what the customers really need, what the customers really want in a product, and make sure that these products are being offered to the market. So there is a question. How do we find unique things from the business we do? Whereas now, information and knowledge is very open to anyone. Okay, so is this a question? Mr. Kwan, how do we find unique things from the business that we do? Yes, I do agree that because of the internet, we are bombarded with lots of information, but still you can find ways of making your product unique. Okay, and I think the secret to this is being ahead of the game, right? And make sure that you cement your capacity, right? You cement your capability in such a way that other consumers cannot copy your product. Okay, so I think that is a very good strategy, right? I think that is a possible source of competitive advantage. Like, for example, I know of some brands, they're the first industry to develop this or that type of product, and they're able to strengthen their capacity when it comes to making these new products in the market. And that's the reason why other companies cannot follow what they're doing. Okay, so make sure that you must be very steadfast in your effort to get those knowledge that you need for you to be able to develop a new product. And like what I said a while ago, develop your capacity in order to somehow protect the product that you're offering in the market. Okay, that I think is a very good source of competitive advantage when you're able to protect the features of your product in such a way that other companies cannot copy them. Okay.
Okay. Does it answer your question, Mr. Renji? Yeah, I think. Okay. We are waiting for the next question, and I still have one more question for you, Dr. Jerome. We have already known that the response from the customer needs, or the information from the customer is very important in developing the product.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't apply for all products. Say, for examples, if we talk about the medical equipment, for example, because if we talk about what sort of heart pump, or maybe the medical procedure that is more suitable, that is suitable for us, because they can only give suggestion based on their experience, but for this case they don't have any experience. So how much information that we really need from the customer to develop a product so that it can be responsive to the market?
I think for that, in that case, I think we can bank on the expertise of those people in the medical field to come up with, or develop these kinds of products, because they're the ones who are more knowledgeable when it comes to developing those products needed by the people. So, but in reality, right, companies can be more successful when they really consider what the customers need and want. But there are exceptions, like in other things, like in many other things, right? There are also exceptions, and this one is one of them, right? You have no audio, sir.
We have a question from the chat box. Sir, what do you think is the most effective marketing strategy to consider in opening a new business? For example, in order to build customer loyalty.
Okay.
From Mr. George.
Okay, from Mr. George. So, what is the effective marketing strategy to consider opening a new business? Okay. In order to build customer loyalty. Okay, I think this question was already answered a while ago. Okay, so you must be able to offer them the best products. Okay, and like what I told you a while ago, so offering products not just ends there. When you offer a product, it is not the end, right? Make sure that you must have this after sales services, after sales assistance, because I think that is part of the experience. Okay, so having a good product is not enough, right? You must be able to have a follow-up activity, follow-up services. Like, for example, when it comes to appliances, you must have this after-sales assistance. And when it comes to, I think this is also applicable to all products. Make sure that you follow them, right? You talk with them. You constantly look for information that can possibly improve your product. I think you must establish a closer relation with your customers. I think that is how we can foster customer loyalty.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Sir George.
Yeah, thank you.
Ashok.
Okay, we have audience from all over the world, Dr. Jerome, and they are not coming from. They are not only coming from Philippines, but also come from Indonesia and other parts of the world, and they want to know about as a foreign company, what should they do to enter the Philippine markets if they want to penetrate the Philippine markets or introduce their product in the Philippine markets.
Okay, so a while back I was able to present to you some of the products which became successful in the Philippines. Like in your case in Indonesia, your Jayco donut is well loved by many Filipinos. Why? Because when it comes to donut, We don't like donuts which are very sweet. Your Jayco donut is not sinfully sweet. It does have a mild sweet taste, okay, to it. So that's the reason why Jayco became very successful in the Philippines. I think if you're able to study well the Philippine market, you can come up with a very good product. I think that is a basic requirement, right? Like what I told you a while ago, you must do your research when you enter the Philippine market. Like the way Jollibee does its research when it entered Vietnam, not all of the products being offered by Jollibee in the Philippines are being offered in Vietnam. Like the way McDonald's do business in Singapore, not all of the food items offered in the United States, in the McDonald's stores there are being offered in Singapore. So there's a need to, customize your products depending on the culture of the people of the country where you will operate in the future. I think that is a basic requirement there. That is a basic thing to do. You must first study the market. And since, many Filipinos are into digital marketing right now, they're more on the use of social media, you can bank on this marketing campaigns, digital marketing campaigns to have an extensive reach of the market. I think those are the things that, marketers from other companies or, companies from other countries can consider when considering entering the Philippine market to do business.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Jerome. Okay, we still have 5 minutes more actually.
Still 5 minutes.
So
Yeah.
back on to how we need to study about the culture of the target market. Yes,
Like
we also have.
Yes, sir. Like for example, when you go to Singapore, in the Philippines, when it comes to McDonald's, they just only offer one type of ketchup. But when you go to McDonald's in Singapore, they have their very sweet ketchup, then a spicy ketchup, and a spicier ketchup. And that is because of the culture of Singapore, right? We all know that in Singapore, there are 3 races, right? We have the Malays, the Chinese, and the Indians. And we all know that Malays, the Indians like to eat spicy foods. Okay, and also in Singapore, in McDonald's there, ice Milo is being offered because Singaporeans and I think other nationalities from the ASEAN region, they love Milo so much. And I think that's the reason behind the offering of Milo in McDonald's Singapore. Well, in the Philippines, we don't have Milo. Okay, we cannot drink ice Milo from our McDonald's here in the Philippines. And I think that boils down to studying the culture. There must be this extensive, study about the culture of the people, because this is what many companies can bank on. This is where they can possibly base their decisions when it comes to offering products and services to these nations.
Yes, yeah. It's just like Kentucky Fried Chicken in Indonesia, that we have the rice.
Yes. I remember when I was in Yogyakarta, because I was in Yogyakarta in 2019 and became a speaker there for a research conference. And I was able to compare the food offerings of KFC in Yogyakarta and in the Philippines. So it is very much different. And I think that is also a product of research, a product of market research. Because, if KFC will insist on offering the original products in the line in Indonesia, then it will not click. It will not click like the way, like the case of I think Dunkin' Donuts in India. So Dunkin' Donuts in India is not very successful. Why? Because Dunkin' Donuts insisted that Indians, to these people in India, these are the foods that you must eat. But Indians eat different food when it comes to breakfast. Okay, and I think that is also the reason why foods in Thailand are very famous. Okay, why? Because their foods are very delicious, and they don't want to have what they call that. They don't want to have a substitute for those foods, because that is part of their culture, right? So during mornings, during breakfast, this is the food that they must eat. At lunch, these are the foods that they must eat. It's part of their culture. So there's really a need to study the market before considering entering a new country where you will operate.
Yeah, thank you very much.
International marketing, yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for your very comprehensive explanation and your insights, your tips. And now we have come to the end of the session. Once again, thank you very much. Hopefully we can see you again in other session.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank
Jerome.
you. Salamat.
Okay, we have come to the end of this day session. We have learned knowledge from all of our speakers this morning. We have discussed market and industry analysis, and then marketing and branding plan, both in Indonesian and Philippine context. Once again, thank you for all the speakers for sharing your valuable knowledge with us today. And also thank you everyone and the participants for having active participation in this session. And remember, tomorrow we still have more topics to be discussed. We will discuss SIP funding preparation and supporting policies in the Indonesian and Philippine context. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.